All right, and Jason Johnson, you've got a first look for the Grio at the latest ad from the Joe Biden campaign. He shared it with us, and we're sharing it with you now. Take a look.
Why in this nation do Black Americans wake up knowing that they can lose their life in the course of just living their life?
Part of the point of freedom is to be free from brutality, from injustice, from racism, and all of its manifestations.
We have to let people know that we not only understand their struggle, but they understand the fact they deserve to be treated with dignity. They gotta know we're listening.
Reforming policing in this country means creating a national standard on use of force and conditioning federal funds for police departments on adoption of that standard. It's about reining in qualified immunity. We hold police officers accountable.
We can't turn away. Now is the time for racial justice. I believe with every fiber in my being, we have such an opportunity now to change people's lives for the better. It's about who we are, what we believe, and maybe most importantly, who we want to be.
So, Jason Johnson, I also think, wow, just such a contrast from Trump's message, but Biden meeting with Jacob Blake's family, along with his wife, and his ability to reach out, show empathy. I just think the contrast is so jarring at this point when you have a president right now running for re-election whose campaign message to African Americans was, what do you have to lose? Well, he showed them.
Yeah. Mika, here's the thing. I'm not usually impressed with a lot of campaign ads, but I like this. I thought this was very good. This was a very effective ad for the Biden campaign, and for a couple simple reasons. Number one, he's targeting African-American voters. As we debate back and forth about how white voters feel and whether they can be moved one way or another, the reason Joe Biden is the nominee is because of black voters. And so running an ad that shows empathy to the concerns and needs of black people is important. The next thing is it actually has policy. I mean, the ad is called We're Listening, but we also want to know what you're doing. And when they talk about, hey, we're not going to keep throwing money at dirty police departments. We're going to do something about qualified immunity so cops can't keep hiding behind different kinds of shields. That's the kind of policy that African-American and African-American voters need to hear, that progressive black voters need to hear. And the visuals themselves are amazing because, look, that 25 million people that marched during Black Lives Matter, those people who are marching outside of Target right now, those churches that have Black Lives Matter in the window, they also care about their black neighbors and relatives. And so I think from an imagery standpoint and a policy standpoint, this is probably one of the best ads I've seen Biden and Harris put out there. They're not the cops. They're not the crime bill from 25 years ago. This is where they are today in 2020, and this commercial shows that.
You know, Claire McCaskill, we have been known over the past 12, 13 years to be very tough on ads and communication from political candidates. I must say, over the past 6 months or so, Joe Biden has outperformed at least my expectation, and I think most people's expectations, time and again. He did it in his speech on Monday. He did it yesterday. These ads are some of the best political ads that I've seen, and it just points to, I think, a growing problem of expectations for the Trump campaign. They're moving towards the debate, continuing to say that this guy's out of his mind, that he's old, that he's sleepy, that he's not there anymore. And my God, you'll remember this like me, they're setting him up to win, just like the Carter campaign set up Ronald Reagan when they kept saying that Reagan was old and out of his mind and a fascist and a guy that was going to start World War III. And the expectations were set so low for Reagan that by the end of the night, it wasn't a close call. Reagan won the expectations game. There was a huge swing in his direction, and he won the election. I think that's happening here. I think Trump is actually